going on, Jerome's audio version. It's not really a rant, but it's close enough. Anyways, 53-man rooster projection after Vikings OTAs and mandatory minicamp, and also practice squad projection because we are not cowards all up in here. Now, obviously, OTAs, mandatory minicamp, it's not concrete. I mean, there's still a long ways to go until the 53-man roster cutdowns, but no cornerback pressing, no contact, no pads and all that stuff, but there's definitely been some risers. I want to point that out. So quarterback-wise, I still think it's exactly what it was heading into OTAs. McCarthy 1, Sling and Sammy Howell as quarterback 2, Brett Rippon as quarterback 3 on the 53, because remember, you can't have your emergency quarterback 3 on the practice squad. But Brosmer, the UDFA from the Gophers, I think that he's definitely raised enough eyebrows that he'll stay in the sphere on the practice squad and maybe develop him into a long-term backup down the line. And for the quarterback 2 job, I think it will be Sam Howell. And Howell has a much higher ceiling, and then Brett Rippon. And I think that even though Rippon has that inside track being in the sphere for an extra year, I think that Howell eventually wins that job. That's certainly something to watch for in training camp. Running backs wise, so you got Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, both on 2-year deals. And we're going to go a little spicy. So I got Trey Stewart, the rookie UDFA from Jacksonville State, as well as Ty Chandler, the veteran who, Lester Jerb last year to Cam Akers. I think that he does get cut heading into year 4 of his rookie deal. Xavier Scott, running back they like on the practice squad, who's on the PS all last year. And running back 3 TBD. So I'm not saying that they're just going to trade for Cam Akers again, but also it's not a slam dunk that Cam Akers is going to secure a roster spot with the Saints. Now, I understand why he signed with New Orleans. Change of scenery, a little bit closer to his home state of Mississippi. But, I mean, they got Kamara, they got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they have Devin Neal. Like, they have some dudes, man. So, I think that the Vikings may just wait and see which running backs, because remember, there's a very deep running back class. The Vikings didn't partake, but eventually teams are going to have to try and get some of these running backs down onto the practice squad, and the Vikings could put in a waiver claim, put them on the 53, and go from there. So that's the first, putting it on the table, Vikings RB3 TBD, not currently on the roster. And then CJ Ham, the immortal one, absolute best fullback in the game. Sorry, Kyle, used, check. Get the hell out of here. Receivers, so one change. So you got Jefferson, Addison, Naylor, 1, 2, 3. Rondale Moore, healthy and good to go. Ty Felton, the 3rd-round pick from Maryland, is in that mix, as well as UDFA Silas Bolden. Now, Bolden is literally like 5'6", right? The pride of Oregon State / Texas. He's shifty. He's a gadgety type player. He is very sudden in open space. Like, I think that he makes the roster, and I think that he wins one of their return jobs. And then practice squad, Deshaun Jones, a former Maryland teammate of Ty Felton, Thayer Thomas, the NC State punt returner, as well as Tim Jones, free agent. I think that he would be a practice squad call-up as the Vikings sort of juggle the 53 numbers. Cut Robert Lewis in the news, Miles Price, Lucky Jackson, as well as Dante Fleming. Tight ends. So have a new tight end in the mix, and Giovanni Ricci being added to the 90-man roster. And as far as the tight ends goes, Hockenson, Oliver, obviously 1, 2. And then for Bartholomew, the 6th-round pick out of Pitt, Urasek, the UDFA out of Georgia / Stanford, and Bryson Nesbitt, the UDFA out of North Carolina. I mean, it could go either way. It could go Bartholomew roster, Urasek practice squad, Nesbitt cut like it is here, or Urasek roster, Nesbitt practice squad, Bartholomew cut. Either way, like I don't think that draft status is necessarily going to shape things here, but I think that's one of the competitions that's literally up in the air, tight end 3. And that's an important job because tight end 3 is going to be involved in most of the special teams units, as well as some goal line packages as well. So it's something to keep an eye on as we go forward. Offensive line wise, so same as it was before. Darisaw, Jackson, Kelly, Fries, O'Neal as your first 5. And then Justin School, the swing tackle, Walter Rouse winning the backup guard spot, Michael Juergens, backup center. Logan Brown, UDFA out of Kansas. I think that he has enough talent to secure a 53-man spot. I think that there will be some concern about him getting snagged on the practice squad, especially after he shows what he can do at joint practices as well as training camp. He's one of the players I'm really fired up to see. And then not making the squad, Marcellus Johnson, Vershawn Lee, who was recently brought in, UDFA out of South Carolina. It should be italic. Nah. As well as Leroy Watson. Now, Brandel, we have asterisk because I actually think the Vikings get a small trade done with Blake Brandel, right? And Brandel starter last year does have I think it's $1.65 million fully guaranteed on his deal. I think that the Vikings are able to trade and get a little something like a late round pick swap as well as a smidgen of cap relief from the Brandel trade. Then defensively, so change things up a little bit here. And remember, practice squad call-ups doesn't mean that the player is going to be stuck on the practice squad forever. And also, you have call-ups, a couple per season for each player, and there's always shifting amongst the 53 and practice squad. So defensive line, Allen, Phillips, Hargrave, 1-2-3 win play show. The rookie tier Ingram Dawkins, I think, is going to be heavily involved early on, as well as Levi Drake Rodriguez, Jalen Redmond. I mean, they're just dudes, man. I think that both of them in year 2 of their involvement with the Vikings is going to be great. Redmond, the UFL superstar from Oklahoma, as well as Levi Drake Rodriguez, Prospect X. Project X is completely different, but Prospect X from Texas A&M Commerce, he looks really fantastic. Year 2, I think, is going to blow some things up. 2 in the practice squads. So Taki Taimani, the nose tackle. So obviously he can be game day call-up and then eventually add to the 53 once those are exhausted, as well as I got Elijah Williams. All right, so UDFA tryout from rookie camp added to the 90-man. I think he brings a little something. I think that he's able to get his own pass rush, heart, hustle, muscle, all that stuff, and just go from there. Outside linebacker. So we got Van Ginkel, Grenard, Turner, who's been moonlighting a little bit off-ball linebacker, so that's definitely something that raises an eyebrow. You got Bo Richter and Tyler Batty making the 53 as well. So Batty's going to be a little bit of a mix, playing on the edge, as well as I think that he'll put his hand in the dirt too. And then you got Gabriel Murphy on the practice squad, last year's UDFA star, and it's a toss-up. I mean, I think between Richter, Batty, and Murphy, 2 will make the 53 and 1 will be on the practice squad. So it stays in the sphere, but also you run the risk of trying to get that player through waivers. The Vikings are very deep at edge rusher. Chad Chamblee does not make the cut. Off ball. So Pace, Cashman, the veteran Eric Wilson, the rookie Kobe King from Penn State. Then practice squad, I got Max Tooley on there. Now, it could be Tooley or Masia Keys, whatever. Asama also could be in that mix. He's in the final year of his rookie deal. Asama's in a sort of a similar situation as Ty Chandler, where they've had time to put up, as well as the 4th year of their contract is not guaranteed. So the Vikings can move on, no fuss. So there you go. I think that, I don't know. It's kind of close. I mean, Asama could be on the practice squad, or Asama could make the 53. Kobe King on the practice squad. It's really up in the air right now. Cornerback wise, so I got a little something. So Rogers, Blackman, Murphy. I think those will be your first 3. Got Nudie McLaughlin on the 53, as well as Tavier Thomas playing special teams as well as in the slot, and then Zamiah Vaughn. So UDFA coming on in, Zamiah Vaughn from Utah. He's 6'3", he's lengthy, he's physical. He's been in the mix at OTAs and mandatory minicamp, and obviously that's one thing, but in training camp, when those pads come on and when corners can press, let's see what he can do. But I'm just going to say it right now. Dark horse. I think that Zamiah Vaughn has a chance to make the 53. Same thing with Tyler Batty. Same thing with Logan Brown. We're just going all in. Practice squad. So now remember, 4 of the spots can be vested veterans. Akuda on there, as well as Ambry Thomas. So you got some veteran depth on the practice squad for corner. Safety-wise, got a little bit easier. Bubba Bolden, his 90-man spot was taken by the center, Vershawn Lee. So safety-wise, pretty straightforward. Harrison, Theo, Metellus, carry on my J-Word son, playing some good special teams. Well, penalty-filled special teams, but hopefully they'll get cleaned up in year 3. Is 3, isn't it? Yeah. As well as Michelle Powell, we have him on the practice squad. The ball hawk from Miami, that's the U being the U. Then special teams, Reichard, Wright, DePaula. Chapman doesn't count against you on the practice squad, so he's down with IPP. Yeah, you know me. And then return jobs, got healthy Rondale Moore returning kicks, which is just going to be dynamic, man. They got Silas Bolden returning punts. Then Isaiah Rodgers moonlighting as a backup kick returner, but also Silas Bolden there too. Coach Hatt has already talked about wanting Rodgers, even though he'll be probably the starting cornerback involved in the return game because he's a really damn good return man. It really is. As well as Rondale Moore involved returning punts as well. But that's it. That's at projecting the Vikings 53-man roster as well as practice squad after mandatory minicamp. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, like where did we get right and where did we get it right? Let us know. Comment section, guys, the best you know what to do. Skull production value.